I'm walking along the trail, and I can see where we need to be. We camp every night, and I could see where we needed to be. It was about 1,000 feet below us in a river valley. And I looked ahead on the trail, and I could see my teammates traversing the hillside back and forth, heading down. And I thought, ugh, you know, if I could just find that shortcut. So I took off down this trail. I'm going as fast as I can. And about 100 yards in, I stopped, feeling, again, really smug. Well, I had stopped, but you see the bushes around me were undulating back and forth. And now I knew why. Nobody else was on this trail. And then I made my mistake. I looked down at my legs. Ah! There wasn't one leech on me. There must have been 50,000. And I screamed, help! Help! Get him off! Get him off! I was by myself. So I turned around and ran back to the main part of the trail as fast as I could go. And I'm screaming, I'm jumping around like a mad person. And I'm in hysterics. My teammates are in hysterics also. I personally couldn't find anything funny in this situation. Just to gross you out a little more, let me tell you what happens when you try to pull a leech off. You grab a hold of these things, and you pull, and they stretch. You pull a little more, and they stretch just like a rubber band. You pull a little more, and then they finally just pop off. But because they have sticky skin, they're now stuck to your fingers. You see, if I had just calmed down, they would have dropped off all by themselves and gone somewhere else. Do you have leeches in your lives? These are the people and the things that can suck us dry without our knowing it. The people, the naysayers. You ever had a conversation? Well, I know, I don't know why I'm asking this. You had a conversation with someone, and after that conversation, you said, man, I need to go take a nap. They've just sucked your energy. Naysayers, people who tell you you can't do it. Ever hear that from somebody? We'll never be able to turn our clinic around. We'll never be able to turn DaVita around and make it the greatest company. Those are naysayers. They're leeches. They're everywhere, everywhere. And there's nothing we can do to control those leeches. The only thing we can do is to control ourselves, how we act and react to those leeches. You know, because they're not really the problem. It's us. Again, how we act and react. And that's another good reason why you need to know your personal vision, where you're headed. What is your through line?
If you're looking to motivate your audience, change their perspective, and inspire them to achieve success, you need Stacy Allison to take them beyond the limits.
You see, Steve, Jim, and Pasong all had a decision to make at this point. They could risk running out of oxygen and climb to the top of the mountain with me. Or they could play it safe and turn around. Steve and Jim decided it was not worth the risk. Pasong, however, decided it was. All of our goals in life boil down to what we are willing to risk in order to achieve them. Not necessarily physical risk, but financial, emotional, the cost in time and energy. What are you willing to risk in order to achieve your goals? It took all the strength and courage I had not to turn around and run after Steve and Jim. But you see, there are times in our lives when each and every one of us has to walk away from everything that has meant security to us in order to reach our dreams. And it's then that we have to reach deep down inside for the strength and courage to take that next step. At this point here, the wind started to gust so hard it blew my hat off my head. And it hovered in space, and then it dropped 8,000 feet. I didn't go after it. But I hesitated. And then I looked up at the summit, and I knew what I had to do. It was like a magnet pulling me closer and closer. 20 feet, 10 feet. And then I got to the point where I couldn't climb any higher. And that's when I knew I was finally on top of the world. Thank you. Now you think, boy.